sa siad Tyrone and Cork go bhfuil Coram Tom Macklem buaite go. Cúrcín buaite inisiga Tyrone.
Now, John, that was a close one.
I don't know. Words can't describe how I'm feeling right now. Like, we were nearly through it away. Like after it was built up such a big lead, and I suppose we knew Cork was going to come back at us after their previous performances, but probably sink in about 10 years' time or something.
The game was gone from us really, like 8 points down, whatever we were. But we just got a roll, got a bit of momentum, and I suppose we've been there 3 times already like this, and we just thought that maybe we might, get another chance. We might sniff it, we might get ahead, might win it, but it wasn't to be, I suppose.
Yeah, well done. Congratulations to Tyrone. It could easily have gone the other way, Tony Davis.
Yeah, it could have, I suppose. But Tyrone all through the year have been the best minor team in Ireland, I suppose, from the very start. They were the favourites to win the minor. And Cork, on the other hand, have been winning by a point all through, And it was 1-5 to no score after 20 minutes, and they did their Houdini act again, finishing both halves well. And coming to the end of the game, when they put, Stephen O'Mahony from Gabriel Rangers in full forward, a big, huge guy, he created a kind of a target for him, and Dan McKeown and O'Rourke and those lads, they got the scores, brought it back to a point, and I just felt there was a small bit more time left in it, and if there was that time left in it, they could have come back. But listen, Tyrone were the best minor team this year, but great credit to this Cork minor team. They've come from nowhere really, and they've performed brilliantly all through the season.
OK, we'll come back to that issue about time actually later. Kevin, you were impressed with many elements of the Tyrone play, but you were looking at one in particular for us.
Yeah, they're very composed. When Anthony and I were watching and we were just chatting, like how easy they are on the ball in their hand passing, their foot passing, and great patience for 18-year-olds that, they'll work the position all the time. They don't care if they have to cut back in field. They just want to make sure they keep retaining possession, and the chance will eventually come. And they tend to be very accurate when that chance does come. And I was very impressed with it today. Always passing to advantage, wing side, nice simple stuff, working the position. He knows that angle is just a silly one. Now, a lot of minors would bang it, have a shot from there, but a beautiful ball across from Ronan O'Neill, and then lovely finish. Getting the scores you're supposed to get. And at that level, we often see those, fumbled and missed. But I thought this was a terrific score. From their own cornerback position, get the ball out of the danger, get it out the wing side, and develop the play, and try and straighten it up then when they breach the wall there as such. And now the game is open, and they're really attacking now. And again, all the time, the passes in front, into the hand, and all the time giving advantage to their own players. So I would have called it very mature sort of football from a minor team. Nice little opportunity, turns around, pops it over the bar. But I found it a funny game in terms of the gaps. Like, there was 8-point gaps in the first half and the second half. Tony touched on it there. So it made it for a very funny contest in an All-Ireland final. Like, the game was over twice, and then the Houdini boys started coming back and just got caught short then.
Seamus McEnany, what do you think of the minor game?
Yeah, it was a funny game, certainly. But, Cork has showed great character. They showed it against Armagh in the quarter-final as well, coming back and sneaked that game. Tyrone, there's a conveyor belt of talent coming through in Tyrone. It's actually scary to the rest of the teams in Ulster. But, where Ronan O'Neill was held relatively quiet up front for Tyrone today, but the sweeper system, and they're very, very comfortable with it, they kept Cork very, very quiet in the first 15 minutes of the game. And I believe it was actually in the first 15 minutes of the game was crucial to Tyrone's victory. They snuffed out any chances out. The sweeper system worked exceptionally well for them.
A word with Kevin Walsh, because the Galway miners got kind of done by Cork similarly, didn't they?
Yeah, but I suppose credit to Cork. Almost happened again today. They were 9 points up against Galway, were 9 points up, should I say, and he even let in, I think, 5 goals in the day, and it still didn't deaden their enthusiasm to try and go out and win it, and they came back and won that by a point. And I think they've done the same to Armagh. So I suppose looking there today, the Tyrone midfield were very, very strong. Number 8 there was very good for them, and I think the way they played, number 13 out around the back there, he linked up with a lot of ball, a lot of play, and made good use of it. So deserved the victory, but then again had to hang on with a Cork side coming at you.
They won't be worrying too much about it tonight, I suppose. No. Thanks, Kevin. Anthony, Cork's comeback. You were looking at that.
I suppose about Cork's comeback, they'll probably sit and regret I wonder why they didn't, adopt this approach much earlier. It was only whenever the game was beyond them that they started playing very direct football into the forward line. They brought on Stephen O'Mahony and started kicking the ball directly through Dan McKeown and inside into the forward line as well. And I mean, you're dealing with kids really at minor grade, and you never know how kids are going to react when they're in Croke Park in big games. And Tyrone had the game won essentially, and the complacency that sets in during a game is the worst kind of complacency, because it's very, very difficult to get yourself out of that hole. And when Cork put the push on, they almost got across the line, but they showed great character for a team that was dead and buried. And particularly I thought Dan McKeown was fantastic throughout, and ably supported by John O'Rourke, who got 3 points from play in the dying stages of the game. But the wee regret, I suppose, that they just didn't start kicking the ball into their forwards a wee bit earlier in the game. Ultimately, Cork have won the big prize today. The minors, they'll be
get a chance again.
Glossed over, I suppose, in some ways. But credit to Tyrone, the second All-Ireland minor title in 3 years, and we saw the resurgence of down football. But we'll not forget about Tyrone either, because the production factory is still well and truly alive in Tyrone.
And Tony mentioned the time at the end. There were a couple of key decisions you felt, Kevin McStay.
Yeah, all came just at the death. There was one or two handy frees I thought throughout the match, that I'd quibble with. But at the end there was one major call, and we're going to have a look at it here. Time is up and Cork need this ball so badly. And it's an absolutely perfect pick-up off the ground. The referee pulls it as a foul pick-up. Just watch it here, right foot going under it perfectly. Yeah. And that ball is given to the Tyrone lads at a crucial time. Yeah. Now, they played 2 minutes 21. We put a clock on it earlier on, and everybody raised their eyebrows when he blew at 2:21. Sorry, rather when he announced he was playing at least 2 minutes, because when you add it up, we got to 4:43 when we totaled all the injuries in the second half and the substitutions. Now, this has been a constant theme for the last few years, and it's really frustrating for teams, because the opposition will rotate their subs to run down the clock. A few lads will lie down on the floor and try and get another few seconds on it. So they'll have to come up with a better way. If you bring on a sub, that's 45 seconds put on the clock. There should be some sort of a little rule about that, because it is very frustrating. There was 4 minutes definitely should have been played.
All right then. Competition time now on the Sunday game, because we've teamed up with Ulster Bank, one of the proud sponsors of the Football Championship, to give you the chance to win a fantastic trip for two to New York City. Now, this great prize includes return flights, 4 nights accommodation in a 4-star Manhattan hotel close to all of the main attractions, and 2 tickets to see New York's first Football Championship game of the season next May. Now, to top it all off, we'll also give you $5,000 spending money too, so you can stay there. You can experience the best of what New York City has to offer. And for your chance to win the holiday and the cash, answer this question. Which of these well-known GA grounds is located in New York? Is it Gaelic Park, Semple Stadium or Croke Park? If you know the answer, call 1515 71 71 74 or text the word football followed by your answer and name to 57111. Viewers in Northern Ireland can also text that number or call the telephone number on screen. You must be over 18 to enter. Full details on RTÉ Airtel, page 195. Lines close at midday tomorrow, and the lucky winner will be announced on Radio 1 later in the evening on Sport at 7. Right, the All-Ireland final is all about the players, but today they shared centre stage with a very special man, the great commentator Mícheál Ó Muircheartaigh.
Croke Park with 82,000 and some 300 people present. A day absolutely straight from heaven.
I would always consider that I'd be the link, that it's a service for, if you like, the public at large. Nobody is more important than the listener, I think. They're the people really that create the interest. They want to know what's happening. Something in the corner there, and you were being told about something that people all over the country wanted to hear about at the time. The whole thing arises from your level of interest in it. Unknown to yourself, you'll be doing research all the time. I'm fortunate that I always had a great interest in both the games, and I had an interest in the broadcasting aspect of it as well. The sport wouldn't exist if they had to play in an empty stadium. There'd be no good in it. There'd be no good in it for the players, and that they could hear the roar of the crowd, even though managers try and protect them from that, and I think that's not right. Players should be allowed to enjoy the lead up to it. It's part of it, and I don't believe that it puts extra pressure on them if they're giving interviews to the radio, to the television and the newspapers. I think it adds to it for them. And the good player will not see that as an extra pressure. They'll see it as part of it, because as Ská Chéile Vaden Adina, the players need the supporters need the players. The entity is the thing that's wonderful.
And I'm delighted to welcome Mícheál to studio. You're going to have to tell this story. I just said to Mícheál there a moment ago, where have you been before you came here? And you were starting to tell me. Tell us that story about where you were.
Well, I was in Croke Park.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But it took me 2.5 hours from the time I got out of the lift until I got moving slightly towards here. But it was great to meet people, losers, winners, all, and, you know, delighted they were at the All-Ireland final. There's going to be one winner every year unless it's a draw. It was a fantastic day, really.
But, I mean, you've been there so many times, and today was different no matter what. So was it, emotional or special? Or?
Well, I wouldn't say it was emotional, but it was special in a way. I've been going to finals since 1948. I decided today I'd go to Mass in the Pro Cathedral rather than an ordinary church, seeing that I was going to the Cathedral of Sport afterwards, Croke Park. So when I parked the car, I noticed there was something strange. A fella came dashing out. There was a house across the way, decked in down colours. And this guy came flying out the door. Will you hold on a minute till we get a photograph? He was back in the door. I'm sure he got them out of bed and all. Came down half asleep. We took a few photographs. And then Cork people began to congregate. And more photographs. And then I was saying, look, I want to go into Mass. And one of them turned to the other. Sure, we'll go with him. If I had the Pope's mobile, I told him I'd have 4 converts already on All-Ireland final day. It was great in there, and
so you went up to Croke Park, and where did you go when you went into Croke Park?
Well, I usually go out to have a look at the pitch first, and then wander in around the dressing rooms. You know, see every part of it, that everything is okay.
But you were stopped every 10 yards, I presume, were you?
I met lots of people. The first steward I met, he was from Fontenoy, Leitrim in Down. I said Leitrim, Fontenoy, Cullamacanarn, he's the school principal there. I had been in the school and spoke to a lot of people, but I had got word yesterday from the Taoiseach that he was anxious to call up to see me and where I work and all that. And of course I said I'll be there, but I said I don't want to miss the arrival of the teams. So he arrived up and we sat down in a commentary place and 2 mics in front of us. I assured him they were both switched off, and he made a lovely presentation. Agus bhí mar a caintas Gaeilge awfully bog. It's a lovely piece, agus bhí an rud go léir scríofa Gaeilge ann. And we had that then. I went into a little room then to look over the teams, having been down, just settling down there when Lisa Clancy came in, and she said, oh, there's a huge cake. And well, she didn't. She said, I want you to come with me. Came into the media room there. There was a cake half as big as the small square inside there, a chocolate cake. And I did the piece of the cutting. It was all devoured within 5 minutes. The media were very hungry at the time. So a wonderful day. And then down at the field to get a presentation on the sod of Croke Park.
You got a standing ovation.
Lovely painting of Mount Brandon, a mountain I climbed recently. Mícheál Ó Muircheartaigh. So overall, in all, I had a fantastic day talking about a game that wasn't over until the referee blew the full-time whistle. Yeah,
if you were to pick a game, that's the kind of game you would have wanted.
Well, I like a close game, no matter who's playing, because I'm conscious of listeners. Listeners lose interest in a one-sided game. And you like to keep all the listeners, you like to give them something to be enthused about. Today's game gave a lot of that.